Hey folks, welcome back to another episode of D-Ray's Garage, where today I'll be installing into the garage a Garage Smart hardtop lifter for the Jeep. Now, you haven't met the Jeep yet, so let's do that. I know, isn't it something? Brand new world for us, very excited about it. You'll see a whole lot more on that. But to enjoy the full adventure of it, and before the scorching sun gets out here in AZ, we got to figure out how to get this top off a little bit more easily than the first time I did it. And I'm just glad I don't have a video to show you that. In order to get this job done, a ladder will be needed, stud finder, that's a knife to open the box here, 13-inch socket, 13 mil socket, 13 mil wrench, drill, and a drill bit is included in there, allegedly, tape measure, and mechanical pencil, ideally one adorned with lots of lips. Next up, let's see what's in the box. Well, surprise, surprise. Just like the movie Inception, except this is a box within a box. This is the Garage Smart Bluetooth lifter, so it's pretty swanky. Assume I can get it all to work, so let me hump this out of here and we'll dig a little deeper. Here's the frame, some frame covers, some very healthy sized lug bolts in here, and a bunch of cables. Tell you what, let me get this out on the table, make it a little easier to go through. Like I said before, we got some lag bolts here. We got some stickies, I'm guessing for wire control. A couple of screws. These look really cool, these little pins. So you're not messing with a bunch of nuts and bolts. You're just using push pins that have a little locking bearing on the end to push in. So that should make things quick. This is a little bag that ultimately suspends in the cabin of the hood that you take off. Not the hood. The lid, whatever it is, the lid. When that lid comes off, this suspends in there, and you can drop your baggie with the two front plates in there as well. So a fully contained unit there that can all hang from the ceiling of your garage. I will link up here to the official video, which will be probably a little bit more composed. Maybe too much so I'm going to do the real video. This is what they call part A. This is called part B. I'll put up on the screen how many holes need to be exposed at this end of A. And in my case, for a JK hardtop, it is 7. And then you take these pins, look like little bullets, insert them at each end of where the metals are overlapping. But these are part C, and then these are D and E. I don't know which is which. So we're going to slide. I'm going to be at the rear. How do I know it's the rear? Because the skinnier part of the scaffold is here at the back. And I'm going to slide it until the only holes in here are aligned through the middle of this channel here that's facing up. All of the U-brackets are facing upwards. All the open ends are upwards right now. So we do that. Then we take these longer fellas, and if it's a JK or a JL, oh, I can run out of room. You align the first one in here. Take the skinnier of the pins and insert it through the hole, get up here. There we go, starting to take shape. Not too bad. Let's move on to the next steps. So the last step here is putting on the brackets here. So we go 15 holes of clearance from the rear for the JL hardtop that I'm installing for. So I know there's 7 here. 15, I'll keep my finger on that one. I'm going in front of that. We're going to put these little pins in. Okay, it's 1, it's 2, Now, it turns out that an easy way for me to notice this is it basically butts up on the front side of the unit against the one that was already in place. So this must be the balance point when we start hoisting up the lid on the JL version. The JK version is a couple of different, and the two-door version, naturally, the weight balance is shifted there. Next up, part where we get on ladders and start measuring and finding a spot to put this in. So I'm sure you didn't want a parking tutorial, but this might be the most important park job you do in a while, because you really want to make sure you get this set up where you want it. So you can see here I have a tape measure on the floor. I'm going to show you how I can open the back and get the glass up. On the roof here, I'm trying to make sure that I have 5 feet from the end of where my garage is open to roughly where that front winch wheel will be when I put that on top, and we'll confirm that later. And then as we move around the side here, obviously got to make sure you can get in the garage threshold and close the thing. While there's no tape measure here, we are 4 feet away and can comfortably open all those doors. Even better, getting in and out without that table there. And then we're going to be pretty close here, but let's see. You can see how, if I could move my toolbox out of the way, we could get that door fully open. Either way, there's enough room right now to even open this lid, I think. The 5 feet at the back that it recommends is to the actual winch, a wheel on the rear side of the car. So where the actual back of the car is in here is somewhere around, I mean, you tell me, we're pretty straight above it, right around 40 inches. Not the full 60 it says to leave behind. The full 60 is from, and we'll put it up here, where the winch is going to sit, which I know is, I don't know, 8-10 inches away from that rear buffer, and again, we'll put that on in a second. So positioning is everything. Bummer, I'm gonna have to relocate some lights up here. You may not have to deal with that, but it is a good idea to check what you have going on your ceiling, because you probably don't spend a lot of time looking up there. So where I left you last time, you'll notice a slight difference. I had the long arms on the wrong side. So this represents the rear of the vehicle. This will sit right on the back of the tailgate, or on the back of the roof line before it drops off. This will all sit across the front of the first one piece of the hardtop. So you'll need that. Another revelation I had is, if you've watched the video, it's all about measuring in from walls. Well, if I need a perfect 15-inch square, I'm going to use a perfect 15-inch square. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a plumb bob from the ceiling, and I'm going to mount this on top of the car, and I'm going to plumb bob to this center line here, pin this to the ceiling, boom, 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 boom. That will give me the 4 points for the winch corners. From there, I will find out whether my studs run this way or this way, identify the closest ones, figure out which orientation these heavy, bloody smart rails are facing, be it this way, oops, or this way, and then we'll pop those suckers up into the ceiling before we drop on the winches. So, all right, so we've pretty much centered the frame on the roof there, and it's about 6 inches on the back corners from the edge of the rod on each side. So that's what I'm calling center. Now we're going to drop the template that we made with the X in the middle and drop a plumb bob down from the ceiling, so we can basically hit what we believe to be center. So let's get that bob going. And then once that's there, we're going to poke a little hole.
Not long enough.
And then you definitely need to make sure your thread is long enough.
It's all right.
So once you've readjusted the length of your plumb bob, so it actually reaches the ceiling, then you want to get it to just drop out of the sky, right onto your dead center point. And that's where we're going to make that mark in the ceiling. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to append our new template up to the top of the, or Amanda will, to the ceiling up there, and then I'm going to get that laser level running so we get the square perfectly aligned. Then we're going to start shopping for studs whether they run vertical, horizontal.
You need a scrap.
We decided to draw the 15-inch square on the ceiling. The studs we will show you here. Ours are running lengthways. So from the back of the garage to the front, or the front to the back, depending how you look at it. So we will be hanging the rails perpendicular to that. So we've identified the middle in each side of the stud on each separate end. And we're going to try and do that again. Like a boss. So next up, I'm going to take a drill bit and we're going to go 3 inches up into the center points of this here, which cuts right through all those dots down the middle. We should basically see the edge of that square. So now we've got one rail aligned, and then I'll make sure the other one aligns against that. So I'm going to start here, drill the 3-inch hole. Need high speed.
Did you get wood?
You're not allowed to ask me if I get wood. You're supposed to know.
I'm your wife.
Alright, so anyway, that's right in the middle, and to Amanda's point, yes, I got wood. And you know that because the wood falls out. And if you go through the, whatever the drywall is, it'll leave you 1/2 inch, maybe 3/4 if you're really lucky. And then you find dead air, you missed your stud, try again. So I'm going to do this side here. Oh, glasses. All right. Now.
Don't you need to do your other holes first?
No. So Amanda's question is, why don't you do the other holes? Well, what if we miss the hole? So if I drill one there, and then I set this up, and then I can't find it.
Gotcha.
So I'm going to get that all plumbed in and squared up.
Where's your...
Okay. Alright, so I'm going to cheat. They show you to do a hand ratchet, but if you could ever get yourself one of these, you'll never turn back. Okay, so you will see that we just decided to move the rails along so we could hit this line much better. So now we're basically, within 1/4 inch of it. And we've got to hang the carabiners, you'll hear that in the video too, on the opposite side, 4 holes apart. Is this the 4th one? Mm-hmm. They're a little snug getting through these holes, but there it is. Now we've got to power it up. Power cords. So here are the power units, power adapters. I've got this first one here aligned, and I'm going to connect this over here by the garage door opener plug-in. And I've put it up on this side of the carabiner side of the frame. I think I'm going to hang this other one here. There is some wire management required, and then you've got to connect each of the winch units over to their corresponding power unit. And then this power unit is connected into here, so you actually only wind up with one power outlet being used, and this daisy chains to that one. So I did a little bit of wire management and wire improvement. Just plugged in the power cord. These 2 adapters are showing green. What's the instruction?
Push the link button on your MyLifter device.
Link or pair?
It says link button, but it's probably pair.
That's green.
Okay, we got newly paired devices.
Okay, so we've got the winch fully unreeled. We're going to bring down the bracket, and then we're going to loop through the winch, and then I'm going to hook up each of the loops to the carabiners at the top. So be very excited. We're getting dangerously close to something happening. All right, for the maiden voyage. Let's hope, wait, there's a wheel on that. Okay.
Ready?
Rig it. Alright, so the car's in where we think we need it. We're gonna bring down the lifter and try and set the bottom out, so where it's going to basically come into contact and rest on the roof. Alright, so we've got the mesh netting, so we're going to install it here at the rear, and then we're going to go put it over the roll bar on the inside and connect it at the front. So you can see over there, you got to stay outside of the frame, and then this is good. These cables are going to snug up. Nice, see there, you get it cinched nice and tight once it's hooked on, like so. Let's see if we can get that better shot. And then if I get a look in from the back here, now you can see we have this mesh webbed mat with these cables coming up vertically even. And so what it's going to do is this is going to pull up from here, and then the other end, if we've got it tight enough, it'll start lifting the roof. Bless you. This will create a pouch where you can drop your Freedom lids in. So here we are at the big first lift. Make sure you've got all your T50s out. There are 6 in the back and 2 at the front. You probably know that already. And then of course unfasten the electrical connection and the screen, the back windshield fluid line. And let's see what happens next. All right, this is at max height. So yeah, I mean, this will clear the entire height of the car, even if we pull in forwards or backwards, until this thing comes crashing down. We're gonna call this a win. And the marriage has survived another act where I couldn't find a friend, so I brought in the wife, and I'm really liking this. I'll have to get you the ceiling height. I'll post that on the screen just because, frankly, I don't remember it, but I think it's 10 feet, maybe more. Anyway, really happy with the setup here. We can pull in forwards and backwards. We've got tons of clearance. We just put the Freedom panels in the top here. And yeah, we have lots more Jeep adventures in D-Ray's garage. Now, please subscribe and like if you wouldn't mind. I've got a lot of Porsche content, Aston Martin, a couple of electric cars, a Model X. So if any of that stuff is in your garage too, you might be able to pick up some other tips and tricks. So thanks for being with us, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye now.